Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Lizzie, and here's her story. Hello, Ollie. I have been watching your videos as well as others out there on YouTube who are fighting for awareness and an end of the pain caused by narcissistic and borderline abuse. I'm into the 4th year of a divorce and custody battle with my ex of 17 years, who I finally had the courage to leave for the sake of my kids. I am now experiencing the torture that comes with the court system in custody. We are now on a week-to-week timeshare, but my ex won't quit. He will do everything possible to manipulate the courts. He's tried to prove this whole time that I am an unfit parent. Now he is using my new boyfriend as a scapegoat, saying that he threatened at his car during pickup, and when in actuality what my boyfriend did was walk out to the car with my 12-year-old son to support him in telling his father that his knees hurt and that he didn't want to play in the 3rd travel ball game that weekend. You see, his father has this grandiose idea that his son, who's 25 pounds thinner and less athletic than his teammates, is going to be a professional basketball player. My son wants to please him so badly that most of the time he performs as his puppet. However, my son is having anxiety attacks and growing anger issues over being used as his puppet and experiencing so much pressure to perform. I'm taking my kids to counseling and doing the best I can. The almost comical situation that recently occurred is my ex filing another lie in court to discard me and obliterate me as my kid's mother. The exact day that he found out that his new wife of 2 years, who he married out of state and who has lived out of state for 2 years and is losing her custody battle with her ex and will not be able to win custody and come out and fulfill her fantasy of tearing her own kids away from their dad and joining him here in California and living happily ever after. The sad thing is that occurred the day before Father's Day, and my kids had to experience his projected rages and tantrums placed on them for Father's Day and 2 days following. They came to me at pickup and immediately cried and vented in my car about what they experienced and what they don't understand, why their dad is being so mean. I have ran out of money the first year and a half, gave it to a useless lawyer that did not understand his behavior. My only hope now is that he will continue to show his abuse, lies, and manipulations in court, and that the court counselors and judges will see his behavior and get sick of him constantly dragging this case on the expense of our kids' mental well-being. Do you have any suggestions on how to help my kids get through this hell? Also, do you have any comments on possible harm in competitive sports in elementary and junior high and crazy obnoxious sports parents? Peace, Lizzie. Your first mistake, Lizzie, was having your boyfriend talk to him about your kid. You can't do. I understand where you're coming from, okay? And I understand what you're saying about your husband, but there is no man wants somebody who's not the child's father, another man who's not their father or relative, telling you anything about your child. Ever. Ever. It's a tough situation because, believe me, McNormis was one of these competitive sports fathers, but it's always about the father, never about the kid. This is something that has to be worked out in court with the sports. It can be mandated by the judge where you decide how many activities the child's involved with, but this isn't a fight that your boyfriend should be having with your ex-husband about his own child. It's not. It's the wrong thing. No, he's not the guy. That's how shit gets really out of hand. Not saying that your ex-husband isn't a problem. It sounds like he is. It sounds like he's got his hands full with the other things that are going on with his new wife. This needs to be worked out in court. Okay? I would forget trying to prove narcissism in court. It's nearly impossible to do. Because as I've said, these courts are a cookie cutter process. So if he's going to charge some kind of that you're unfit or you're abusive in some way, that's going to have to be worked out in court. You know, if you have a lawyer that understands the condition, then fine. But at the end of the day, what does he want? He wants his kids playing competitive sports. He's looking to break balls. You don't want this. The kid doesn't want it. The judge will ask the kid, do you want to play this or not? And the kid's going to have to be honest. And the judge is going to have to give one of you discretion over who makes final decisions on sports, how many activities the child's going to be involved with. This is the best advice I could give you, is all this has to be worked out in the custody arrangement in court. Anything. And even here's the problem. If this is started now, it's not going to end. Doesn't end after a court notice, after a decision. It never ends. It never ends. So, but trying to have your boyfriend, and you're not married to, I mean, if you were married to him, all right, he has a little bit more, but he's a boyfriend. No, you can't do that. And I understand where he's coming from, and I'm not saying that, you know, there's no man, regardless of the situation, is going to react to that well. Now, if maybe another parent on the team, but having your boyfriend try to tell him anything about it is never, ever, ever going to end well. Your boyfriend should have known that. Not saying you did anything wrong, but because your ex-husband's looking for anything. And he's not going to care that your son is 25 pounds thinner, that he doesn't want to do. He doesn't care. So, being that you're in court anyway, this is a good opportunity to have all this stuff mandated by the court. How many activities, what they can do, what the pickup time, and it's still really not going to, but that's the best you can do, is have it all mandated by the court. And I cannot stress this enough, okay? If you and your boyfriend get married and he becomes your son's stepfather, that's a bit of a different situation. But trying to have your boyfriend talk to your ex-husband about his child is never going to end right. It's just not. So everything else, have it mandated by the court. You're going to have to deal with this, and as tough as it is, that's what you got to do, Lizzie. So I hope that helps. But thank you again for your contribution. Thank you for your story. I really appreciate it. And believe me, I understand the whole sports dad thing. Believe me, I understand. This is something you and your son have to deal with him together on. It's going to be very hard for your boy. Once your boyfriend gets involved, it doesn't matter what you say. It's all about him. It's all about him. So do it through the courts. So, again, thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, phone call, private video, or a Facebook chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video for someone else or just sponsor the channel in general, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. If you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video to pop up at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance.